Hello, happy September. Today I'm doing a quick book review. I often get asked about books for people who are just getting into young adult novels, younger readers, and I never really know what to tell them. And I think I found a book that's good if you're just getting into that genre of like young adult dystopian novels. Maybe you've read The Hunger Games and you don't really know where to go. This is a brand new book. It's called The Duel by Ewing. It's just been published this week, and this is a review copy. It doesn't actually look like this. It says here this book is for readers aged 14 plus, but I don't really agree with prescribing ages to readerships, so I'm going to review this, and if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, then you should check it out regardless of your age. This book is just under 400 pages long, and it is published by Walker Books, who kindly sent me this copy. So this very provocative statement says, "Today is my last day as Violet Lasting. Tomorrow I become lot 197. Violet Lasting is the main character in this novel. Basically, she lives in a place called the Lone City, and her family are from the poorest place called the Marsh. But the royal family, the royalty, and there are lots of like ladies and lords in the city, in the Duel, the heart of the city, they have this weird defect where they can't have children anymore. All their children are stillborn, or there are complications during the pregnancy. But it turns out that some girls that live in the marsh, some of these poor girls, have this ability, this kind of magical ability that starts to develop when they hit puberty. So they get taken from their families and they get taken to these special schools, and they get taught how to develop these auguries, what these magic powers are called. They can basically move things and shape shift things, change the colour, and they don't really understand why, but that's the way it is. They get taken from their families, they don't see them again, and all with the intention of becoming surrogates for these royal families who can't have their own children anymore. In the novel we join Violet, and it's the day before she's about to be auctioned off, so they actually auction off these girls to the highest bidders, and the girls that can perform the auguries get more money and they go to the sort of the wealthiest families, and that's what happens to Violet, and she goes and lives with a woman called the Duchess of the Lake. I really like the idea of this novel. Some of the things I liked in it are the sort of power struggle between this Duchess, this really interesting woman. I think in a very subtle way it makes you think about very important issues. It makes you think about surrogacy, about who owns a woman's body, who owns a woman's baby, about can people be bought, can power be bought, where does power come from? And there's really interesting things in this novel that the power is usually with women. I read a review of this novel just today before I filmed this video, and there's a part in the novel where, spoiler, sorry, but all these women, these ladies, these duchesses, they have their surrogates and they're going to this gathering, and some of them actually put collars on their surrogates and leads like dogs, and they hold them there so that they behave. And the comment that I read in this review was that they found that really, really unrealistic. That would never happen. And I really disagree, and that was one of my favourite points of the novel, because yes, it's very uncomfortable, very disturbing, but these things happen, maybe not in such an explicit way, but it's metaphorical for control, and people are bought and sold, and slavery exists, and women don't have the right to their body. Young girls and teenage girls don't feel ownership that they should feel of their body, and I feel like this novel really makes you think about those things, and it really excited me. And this novel really makes you think about those things without sort of being lecturing or forcing you to agree with one side. The only thing I didn't really like in this book is there is a young adult romance, there is a little love story in there, and I feel like the politics of this novel were strong enough to carry it without needing to introduce that. So I didn't really enjoy that. This is the first book in what's going to be a trilogy. Maybe waiting till the second book before introducing a little male character would have been appreciated, but it's not the primary thing that's going on in this book. That's all I've got to say. I enjoyed this. It was a quick summer read, and it reminded me of the books I used to read when I was 14, 15. So I will leave a link in the description if you want to check this out, and you're probably going to hear a lot about this hashtag lot 197 over the coming months as people start to read this book. I'm going to try to upload weekly book videos to this channel again, so that should be fun. I hope you're having a lovely day, and goodbye!